Welcome to another episode of the Heel Heat. We have Jay Sentz. I brought the damn table, Benny and Paulinho. We here. Survivor Series preview with what's left of the roster after another massive round of releases.
Whoever survived.
Yeah, it's more of like, did you survive? Not Survivor Series. Survivor Series is a show of who survived the cuts, the releases, the way they've been going on. All right, so let's start off with the Rock 25th anniversary battle royal, because I don't know
with the what the
because I don't even know who's gonna be in it. I didn't even know
What?
that. I don't even know they have enough to do this battle royal. 25, but still, like people they release it, I'm like, do you even have 25?
like who what at this point, if y'all gonna have a memorial battle royal for the Rock as if the motherfucker's dead, this dude better come back. He better make an appearance. Because you're gonna sit up there and memorialize him and he ain't even gonna be there and he's still alive. That's sus. That just proves to me that you're going for a nostalgia pop.
It pretty much is
a cheap nostalgia pop too.
I think he might be there because of the fact that he was doing the Red Notice promos, and the movie came out already. So I'm guessing he's stopping with the promos. So he might have time to make.
I think that the pressure for that is over.
Yeah,
he's either free right now, or he's about to start shooting another movie.
Last I heard they were doing what the heck is the name of that show? The NBC one. It was Little Rock.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they said he's supposedly gonna be in Australia filming the next season for that.
Yeah, but I mean, one day. I mean, this weekend. I mean, I'm sure.
And it's in Brooklyn, so it's like you got to go through JFK anyway.
My thing is, you got I'm looking at it as a potential. Like, if I really want to be optimistic about him showing up, I would say that he's going to be there like the same way Chris Jericho, wasn't going to be in the Royal Rumble that one time he showed up at number 2.
But see, here's the thing too: is have you guys seen his show?
Which one?
The one for the Young Rock or whatever, I can't remember what it's called now. The one.
No.
Okay, so he doesn't have that big of a part. All he is like the intro and the outro, because it's like, oh yeah, like the first season was like he was running for presidency, so they're interviewing him like, oh, how's it gonna work with this? Well, I got a story about that. Growing up, I had this thing with Andre the Giant, and boom, cuts into the whole like story time, and back in when he was like 15 or 9 years old or whatever it is. So if they're saying he's gonna go shoot the new season of that, I'm like, dude, you do that in Hollywood with the way it's set up. You don't have to be in Australia.
That's a studio. Like, you do that at the studio at home.
Yeah. So like, if you get to watch a couple episodes. It's not gonna change. The same thing. They're interviewing him for like maybe 5 minutes in the beginning, 2 to 5 minutes.
I've seen that part of it. I've just never sat through an episode, but I've seen the intros.
Yeah, so that's how it is pretty much. So he's like in each episode, he's in there no more than 5 to 10 minutes. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know nothing about exactly what it is that they're trying to do. I just heard that they were going to be, that he was going to be in Australia.
I think it's just smoke and mirrors to try and it's like, oh, he's going to be there. But if you actually watch the show, you'll know like he doesn't really need to be there because of the way they do it. He can be in Hollywood or at home with the green screen or whatever it is that they want to put him in, and he's fine.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up there for this.
It has to be. Because again, they can milk if they can milk Roman being champion for 2 years, they can milk Roman being champion for 2 more years. Because if you're gonna wait for the Hollywood one, that's fine. Like Dallas or Hollywood, either one works. That's the thing. And you can do a situation where it's a 2-parter, where like you have the first match at that WrestleMania and then you have another match at the next WrestleMania.
Yeah, or you can have this is the one thing you can have too, is you can have The Rock come in and save Roman at WrestleMania when he fights Brock Lesnar, and he's like, that kind of like sparks a little feud. He's like, oh, you still champion because of me, and it's like, oh well, no, I'm champion because I'm the tribal chief, and then like it's or whatever it is, but that's like kind of the spark that starts it off, and you don't need to like kick it off right away. You can slow burn it.
Yep. I mean, it don't even have to be against Brock Lesnar again. Honestly, it could be against whoever wins the Royal Rumble.
Brock
I mean,
Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter. There's no young star to come after him. There's no one to build off the win or the loss. So it really doesn't matter anymore.
Damn.
There's just because I literally look at the roster like there's no one to root for on this roster. Like, what do we have?
There's no one really on the way up right now.
Yeah,
I would have said that if you wanted to build, or not even build, but the probably the easiest way to not do Brock Lesnar against Roman would be to do Drew, but then you got to fill time between now and WrestleMania with who?
What are you gonna do, Xavier Woods? I mean, I wouldn't hate Xavier Woods getting an extended singles run, but it's never going to be a situation where you're looking at it like it's a blood. Like, I don't mind it being a blood feud, honestly, because it's like every time you see Roman, it's something about the title. This is the first time where it has nothing to do with the title. So I'm like, all right, like you can milk this whole Xavier Roman thing if you want until like January. Like you can even have it where like Survivor Series, Xavier Woods cost Roman Reigns the win, and it's the first pinfall that Roman has in like 700 days. Doesn't lose the title, doesn't matter. Continues the feud, right? You can give it where like Roman gives Xavier Woods really like a good extended run of matches in the main event, just so that like you give Xavier the singles run. Because as you can, I don't know if you heard about the whole up, down, down thing. Benny, I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah.
At this point, they're not going to bend on the up, down, down thing. We know they're not going to give the man more money, but what they can do is give him more exposure, have him sell more merch, have him get more over, and then say, hey, we pushed you, we gave you the King of the Ring thing. It's not going to work because Xavier Woods is not going to budge on it.
Nah.
But at least you get an extended run from King Woods, because we don't even know if they're doing the King of the Ring next year. And at this point, who really cares? Because I'm just looking at, all right, who's the next guy that I like that's going to get released? Oh, Ricochet. So I'm just waiting for Ricochet to get released. And I don't think you guys saw it, but on G4, he went up to the camera and he, oh God, I wish I could find a picture. I should have snapshotted it. He said something along the lines of like, hope you're doing well, Kenneth. See you real soon. And then on the other side, it was, we have some cleaning to do. And anybody who can catch the hints on G4, Xavier Woods is very much talking to a certain guy in a certain company that's on the other side of the aisle. And that whole "see you real soon" is like, we haven't talked about Xavier Woods' contract. Because yeah, we know Kofi's a lifer. Yeah, Big E's getting a run now. But literally, Xavier Woods, or should I say Austin Creed, is becoming more of a name on his own than he is with the company. And he's already established more of a brand on his own. And truth be told, he could probably do more on his own. Unfortunately, he sold Up, Down, Down to WWE. So that's their property now. But it's not like he couldn't do something else.
I need clarification on that, honestly, because I've been hearing that Woods never actually owned Up, Down, Down. It was something that he pitched to them, but it was always under the WWE banner. So it was just like, it's not like they have some type of a claim to say, well, you gave up your right to whatever income, so you shouldn't be asking for anything else. It was like, all right, well, you pitched this. This is something that you wanted to do. Now we're going to have you do it, and we're going to pay you out of money that you were already guaranteed to get paid anyway. So
Yeah, that there needs to be more clarification for that, because I was under the impression that it was his channel. He basically birthed the baby, and then when the Twitch thing happened, is when and the YouTube thing happened, was when he sold the rights to Up Up Down Down.
yeah, I gotta check on that. I don't know.
No, but what you said, I've heard that said too. The way it's been stated is weird. But I say all that to say he's now the host of G4, the revamped G4. So now he has the hosting gig. He just finished his PhD in child psychology. So he could definitely go that way. And the whole Austin Creed like moniker is in a lot of ways bigger than Xavier Woods, and he's using Austin Creed to bring people in. But if he leaves, his people leave with him. And that is a massive demographic that is going to leave with him. So I'm curious personally if and when his contract expires. Because that's a contract situation that I've not heard anything about.
Apparently Woods clarified it back in, was it May, that WWE owned Up Up Down Down the whole time from the jump.
Really?
Jump. Yeah.
I think then the strike is about the fact that he personally grew the channel for them.
So this is what he said. He tweeted on May 20th, 2021. He says, for those who have asked, Up Up Down Down is owned by WWE and always has been. Hence why we are allowed to stream on that platform. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we are not allowed to be on Twitch, but hopefully we are given permission at some point. Hope that clears it up. So anybody says that he sold it is wrong. Well, apparently he says they've always owned it, which makes sense.
Well, yeah, no, it makes sense. I think then the strike is about the fact that people thought he was getting a bigger cut from the from whatever profits they get from Up Up Down Down, and he's like Jay said, he's not getting anything from it. He's getting little to no money.
Yeah, they're giving him his guaranteed base, whatever, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
outside.
But he's doing a lot of extra.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I'm saying, you kick the man 3%, everybody's happy.
So his contract ends in 2024.
Ugh, that's terrible.
Because he signed a new one back in December of 2019, a 5-year.
Okay. Well, he's playing something. He's playing some kind of angle.
I mean, with the way these cuts coming along, man, you never know.
I honestly think he would definitely be on that list too.
I mean, you never know. I mean, I don't, logically and financially speaking, if they cut him and pretty much end New Day, that's the end of one of their most biggest like merch movers in the company.
See, but here's the thing: did they all but lose New Day now anyway? Kofi's hurt. Woods is by himself. E is by himself. So I mean, yeah, you could theoretically say New Day is not done, but low key, they're basically putting New Day on pause. Like Woods has his own music that they come out to now. They don't use the New Day music anymore. Big E has his own music. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
comes out the SOS.
I'm hoping for this. You know how hard I would pop for that?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that one. But going back to the Rock 25th anniversary battle royal. All right, here are your participants: Ricochet, T-Bar, Mansoor, Cesaro, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, Eric, Ivar, R-Truth, Drew Gulak, AJ Styles, Omos, Sami Zayn, Angel, Humberto, Apollo Crews, Commander Aziz, Otis, Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Shanky. I want to go for Ricochet so bad, but the fact that they give the man no love, like he's just there for the hot spots, man, high flying spots.
The only people who I could honestly see it being Jinder only because they didn't give him the Survivor Series thing, so they give it to Jinder.
You going with Jinder?
I could see it being Jinder. The thing is, the only two people I care about in this match is Montez Ford and Ricochet.
Same here.
But those are also the two most unlikely people to win this whole thing. So, like, oh God, who's in the match again? It's a clusterfuck of we don't give a fuck. Like that's how I look at it.
It's a clusterfuck of the leftovers.
Yeah,
pretty much. All right, you got Ricochet, T-Bar. Wait, hold up. If T-Bar's in here, what's the other guy?
T-Bar just got cut. Oh no, T-Bar is
Mace.
Dominic Dijakovic. I'm bugging.
What's Mace? Mace is not here. No, Mace didn't get cut.
I know Mace didn't get cut. I'm saying I thought
one.
T-Bar. Thinking when I hear T-Bar, I think Slapjack. That's why I was like,
Slapjack
what?
got cut. And, all right,
can we call him fucking Dominic Dijakovic? Like, jeez, fuck Christmas nuts. Can we stop with the T-Bar bullshit?
Ricochet, Dominic Dijakovic, Mansoor, Cesaro, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, Eric Ivar, R-Truth, Drew Gulak, AJ Styles, Omos, Sami Zayn, Angel, Humberto, Apollo Cruz, Commander Aziz, Otis, Chad Gable, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, and Jinder Mahal and Shanky.
That is so tough because literally anybody in that list winning this match makes zero sense. Like, none whatsoever. Especially because this sounds like it's supposed to be a tag team thing, but you just put a bunch of tag teams together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just gonna basically pick a name out of a hat at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jinder. Just because he was just in a fatal 4-way for the last spot in the freaking Royal Rumble. I mean the Royal Rumble. Jesus, I'm trying to rush through this year as fast as I can in terms of wrestling content. Or WWE content, I should say, because AEW is killing it. What's his name? Jinder just lost in the Survivor Series thing, so I think they'll throw Jinder this bone. It's not going to mean much. The only thing I can see it meaning is like whoever wins gets rock bottomed at the end of it, but that's about it.
By Becky Lynch.
Benny, what do you think?
Omos.
Really?
That'll be interesting. You know what? That'll actually be interesting because then you could start to sow the seeds of the split.
Yeah.
Because we all know AJ Styles does not need that man. That man is probably gonna get Braun Strowman, honestly. They're gonna try to put a rocket on, and then
I was half tempted to say that I think Omos takes his first bump in this one. If you want to go the route of saying that Otis wins the Battle Royal.
I can see it.
So could I, especially considering how they've been handling Alpha Academy recently. But
yeah.
I think that as far as the tag titles, the Street Profits are the next in line. So I think they would put them or keep Alpha Academy on the back burner for right now. I don't think they want to push them too much into the limelight. That's why when we were talking before, I was like, the first thing that popped in my head was Montez Ford. But now that I'm thinking about it, like, what does Vince McMahon do? All right. Oh my God, Omos is so tall. All right. No one can hurt Omos because he's just so tall. Right. Omos's music comes on. We can't look away because he's just so tall. So that's the only thing that pops in my head. I got Omos.
Yeah. That would make sense too.
I want to go with Commander Aziz.
That's a random one.
I know. Like I'm looking at him, he's staring at me, and I'm just like, could I? Should I? But I don't think they're gonna push him like that, which is annoying because you got rid of Braun Strowman because you have too many big men. I'm not saying they should have let this guy go, but it's like they're not even building this guy.
No, they're not building any other big guys.
No, you got Cesaro that I like, but
Cesaro's in this match.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so sad. So sad for him.
So to me, I'm stuck between Cesaro and Jinder, to be honest. And if Cesaro wins it, he'll be the only one that's won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and now the Rock 25th Anniversary Battle Royal. So
what? He'll be the double whammy of irrelevant titles.
yeah, I think I'll go with Cesaro just so they can give him that title. If you're watching this, and if you're gonna watch the Survivor Series, count if they say it and how many times they say Cesaro won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
True, because if they push the narrative, that may be how.
Yeah, and if he wins, it's like, oh, he's won the Andre Giant, and now he's won this. They're gonna say, oh, he has experience because he's won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, so he has experience in Battle Royals, so he's a favorite. Whatever. They'll twist that. If they do, I will be shocked for the fact that they actually brought continuity back into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Continuity. They remember their history when it's convenient. That's all.
Yeah. So continuing on. So we got Damian Priest defending against Shinsuke Nakamura. What do you think, Benny?
I don't think they're doing anything with Nakamura. To be completely honest with you, at the moment they're not really doing anything with Damian Priest either. But
they got him chilling, waiting in the wings till everything blows over.
Mm-hmm. I would say right now there's more to invest in Damian Priest, and if I remember correctly, Nakamura just kind of sort of hinted that he's not really happy at the moment. So hopefully, I'm not even saying hopefully. We might have a situation where powers in the back are just like, oh well, you're not happy. Well, guess what? You're not winning this match now. But yeah, like I said, this is right here is the match that I am honestly probably the second most sure on out of everything. So,
Jay,
the word is that Vince really likes Damian. He likes his character. He likes his work, and they want to invest in the future. But the irony in all of this is the guys that they keep cutting are guys that they say they can't build around the future when Damian Priest just turned like 37. So like that's the funny part. Mm-hmm. That being said, I think that they're going to lean into Damian Priest being the next guy for whatever show he's on. So I think this is going to be another big win for Damian Priest.
Unanimous. I barely go against Damian Priest.
Yeah, I know. He's the one guy you guys got right now. He's the one guy Spanish people got right now.
Yeah.
They don't stereotype him. They kind of stereotyped him a little bit. They did a little too much with that Bad Bunny thing and like the color in the hair. And they did a little too much with that.
Not just that, but when he speaks Spanish, like when I let him talk to Spanish, like it comes out, like some of that comes out.
That Bronx comes out. Like I heard, I was like, oh yeah, he's from the Bronx.
I was like, coño, puñeta. I was like, yeah. Well, but he has a documentary. I can't remember if it's the 24 or Chronicle, something. If you guys still have it, I'd say check it out. It was pretty interesting. A lot of stuff I found out from him that he was telling everybody on that documentary. So, all right, next one. The Usos defend their titles against the RK Bro.
They're not defending the titles. Oh. It's champion versus champion.
Sorry, man. Yes, champion versus champion on this one. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, so this is Nominal's brand supremacy. Who has a better champion?
See, here's this one. It also doesn't make sense because I know Vince loves Randy. He loves Riddle, right? And they're at a point where they don't necessarily need to win, but they also kind of can't take a loss because their chemistry is just getting itself rolling. But if the Usos lose, then that causes a rift with Roman Reigns, which messes up your whole bloodline storyline. So, like, I'm gonna go with the Usos just because I feel like there's more money in the bloodline storyline than there is in RK Bro right now. But I just feel like it's because Randy Orton is who he is, it's like you're in having the Usos beat them, you're minimizing Randy Orton and you're basically saying that Matt Riddle ain't shit. I don't know. That's just me. Like it's a very weird because both those guys should be on the Survivor Series team. They shouldn't be in a tag team match. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the type of guys you want representing your brand in the Survivor Series match because the Survivor Series match is supposed to mean something. Not as your tag team champions going against, albeit two other guys at the top of the card on the other show. But this match feels like it should mean more instead of just being, tag team champions versus tag team champions, you know? That's just me though, but I think it's going to be the Usos just because the Usos lose, it kind of messes up the bloodline storyline way too much.
Benny?
I'm actually going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going with RK Bro just because I want to see the world burn.
I was going to say, we have some friction here, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah. Like, I want to see the world burn. I think story-wise, you have more, especially if you look at it like this. I'm just to I have one more SmackDown pick. I have two more SmackDown picks. But I'm thinking at it like this. What if the only person to win from SmackDown was Roman Reigns?
That would be funny. That would be some funny shit.
Or
how would he react?
That is true. That's the thing. He's not the type of heel where he's not like the Chris Jericho type or like the Triple H type where he would come out, call out the whole roster, and then she'd be like, "You guys are pathetic." Blah. Like he wouldn't do like that whole like bring everybody out, everybody standing outside the ring, and he just ripped them apart. I don't feel like he's that kind of heel yet.
Yeah, that's a Seth Rollins move.
Yeah, that's not a
him.
That's not a him move. So it's like it is a question. Like how do you react to that?
So
because you're not going to call everybody out.
Here's how I'm looking at that one. It could go one of two ways. It can go with depending. All right, so I have the Usos winning because I want to follow Benny's idea, and I'm going to say that Roman Reigns. I'll put my pick already in there. Roman Reigns and the Usos win, and that's the only SmackDown win that happens that night. And even though I picked Cesaro, I think Cesaro's on SmackDown now too. Was he?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But anyway, okay. Anyway, going back to this. Roman cuts a promo saying, "Hey, the only good thing the SmackDown has was proven in Survivor Series, as the Bloodline has the only victories for SmackDown." Or, like Benny says, Roman is only one. He says, "I am the only victor in Survivor Series for SmackDown. Acknowledge me." So it continues this whole acknowledge me as it is. And it'll fit more, like Benny says, if Roman is the only one that gets to win for the SmackDown team.
It also messes up this whole We the Ones thing that they got going on because it went from acknowledge me to We the Ones. So it's a very, that's what I said. It's either way you do it, you can spin a story into it, but it's like, okay, what are we going back to the other Roman Reigns that we had earlier last year when he was beating up on his cousins? Or are we still going with the guy now where he's frustrated at everybody else and the Usos are just kind of still his little lackeys? Like, where are we going with this?
If it's We the Ones, then it's the fact that the Bloodline got the only wins for SmackDown Survivor Series.
Right.
It's the only one that works. You can't go anywhere else with anything
That's
else.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So my pick was pretty much still off there. So I got the Usos winning on that one. And also on the next one, Roman Reigns versus Big E. My pick was also going because that's where I'm leaning towards possibly going on with the promos for those two.
I still think there's no way that you build this. That Big E showed up at a Nets game, right? Mm-hmm. Big E showed up on all the black shows. I'm gonna keep it real. He showed up on all the black shows. I've seen him all over YouTube. He was at the Breakfast Club. He's at High 97. He's at all the black shows. You throw Roman Reigns on the Tonight Show, right?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna actually win at your one pay-per-view in New York City? The guy that you put on strictly just the black shows, or the guy that you put on the Tonight Show?
The Tonight Show.
I rest my case. And notice, I'm just throwing this out there. How is it that Becky Lynch doesn't go on a talk show, but Bianca Belair does?
What show was she on?
She was on Steve Colbert. Becky Lynch was with Big E at the Nets game. Even though Bianca was also there with Montez Ford, by the way. Bianca was still there. She was at the Nets game. But Roman Reigns and Bianca Belair are the two that were chosen to go and speak to the New York media, essentially, and do the Tonight Show circuits. Just throwing the factoid out there.
This is what I don't get. Like, you have Bianca Belair. She's immediate. To me, she's a media darling. She has the look. She the way she speaks, you know.
White fans don't get behind her. It's become you can always tell when white fans don't get behind a person of color because they call them boring champions.
Yeah, and
they don't look at the booking, they don't look at who they face, they don't look at any of that. It's their fault because they're boring champions. When Seth Rollins literally has had one of the most boring runs in the last 5 years that I've ever seen in my entire life. But people still love Seth. So, again, you already know how it is. We don't even need to go into it. We already know how it is.
Yeah. So who do you got on this one, Jay? Big E or
I'm
Roman?
gonna go with Roman. As much as I love E, and as much as you would think, you know, the WWE title, the title that's, you know, your company's long-standing traditional title would be the one that goes over. They're not going to put Big E over Roman, especially because that would be Roman's first pinfall win in like 700 days. And they wouldn't have him lose a match like he did to Xavier Woods, even though technically it was a count-out or disqualification, excuse me. That was Roman's first loss in like 700-something days. He still hasn't been pinned yet in like 700-something days. He hasn't been pinned since he returned against The Fiend and Braun Strowman. He hasn't been pinned since then. So they're not going to have that happen. They're not going to have Big E be the guy to do it. That's exactly why they moved him over to Raw and they had him cash the Money in the Bank on Bobby Lashley and not Roman Reigns, because they're not going to have him pin Roman Reigns. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a fantastic match. It's probably going to end up making Big E look mad strong because they're going to push each other to the limit. It's going to be a fantastic match, but Big E's not winning this match.
Yeah. Benny?
We are in complete agreement there. I think what we're going to get out of this match is similar to what we had last year when Roman basically had to go through literal hell to put Drew McIntyre away. and he still didn't put him away. He actually made him pass out. So,
Mhm.
excuse me, I think they're going to make Big E look incredible in defeat.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I think they are going to make him look absolutely amazing in defeat. And I honestly, out of all of the people on the roster, I trust Roman to do that. The one thing I'm worried about is something that another YouTuber brought up.
Them damn YouTubers.
Yeah. How did Isaiah Swerve Scott lose the North American title?
It was a cash in.
Was it? Or did he?
It
Yeah, it was a
wasn't.
cash in.
It
Yes, it
wasn't a
was.
money. They don't have a money in the.
It's not. It was their version of Money in the Bank. It was that
I know.
that Rising Stars thingamabobber that they do. The what's it
the
called?
Hayes
Yeah, Carmelo
No,
Hayes.
the
breakout star.
there we go. That one. And he
The
cashed
reason
in
why-
a Swerve.
The reason why I bring this up is because a couple of weeks ago, Seth Rollins won a contract for a WWE title match. I am incredibly worried that they're going to do this stupid shit right after that match and take this belt off of E.
It wouldn't surprise me. It definitely wouldn't surprise me if they did that. But I think
Man,
I
I'd be
I
so
don't think
pissed.
I don't think that it's a Money in the Bank type situation where he can go in and be like, I want my match now after the match. I think it's one of those where like they tell you, oh, you have a future title opportunity, you have a title opportunity in the future where you can call your shot. It's not the same as a Money in the Bank situation.
I would completely agree with you if this wasn't WWE.
True.
Make
They
up
do.
rules on the fly and do
Mhm.
whatever the hell they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm just worried that
It wouldn't surprise me one bit because again, they had him rock out through the summer. He gets his whole his dog and pony show. He gets his whole little run. He gets his rematch with Bobby Lashley. They go through the two black guys back to back so they don't look racist, and then they put it back on Seth. And they
and it would annoy the living hell out of me if they were to do it like that because of the fact that not only did you give Big E his cash in, you gave it to him as in a way that he didn't, even though it was a cash in, it was a cash in after a match or whatever, so it's still a little heelish. He announced beforehand twice that he was going to be doing it, so there's no surprise there. He told Bobby Lashley at the beginning of the night, I'm cashing in on whoever wins this match. And then he went out there and did it. You don't think that he has it? They gave it to you. Don't think he was good enough to actually beat Lashley? He goes out there, he beats Lashley. Drew McIntyre comes out. Drew McIntyre puts him over. So you have all of these huge stars putting Big E over. Only to take the belt right back off him. I would absolutely hate it, but it would probably be it's the most WWE thing that I can think of right now.
Yep. And then it closes the loop on their whole history. Because it goes back to the beginning and it
back to NXT.
Closes, it closes that loop. So like, yeah, I can see it happen. Personally, I wouldn't even be mad no more because I'm like, listen, every member in the New Day got their due. They basically are treating the New Day the way they did Dean Ambrose, but it is what it is. At this point, there's nothing else for the New Day to do. So, like, I don't know what else.
Woods is content with being king of the ring. That was like his dream.
Yeah, no, that was his one thing. I had one singles accolade that I wanted, and I got it. Kofi got his due, and now E gets his due. So at this point, I can't even be upset. But it's also one of the situations where it's like, damn, what could have been? That's all I can think about is like, what could have been, like the battles that he would have had with Adam Cole, the battles he would have had with Keith Lee. battles he would have had with Aleister Black,
That's the one that upsets me more than anything.
because they was about to have that feud.
Oh
and
yeah,
then, and then he just got released, and I'm like, word.
Literally,
But I also
literally
think
aren't
that
safe.
Yeah. And I'm like, these dudes been around for like 10, 11 years. So I could 100% see Laurinaitis and Bruce Pritchard just getting rid of the New Day too. So it's like, I can't even get excited for what's next. And I can't even say like, oh, they can't take the title off of E. Because at this point, I really don't care. Like, if there's anything that's holding on to like a lot of people watching the product, it's the fact that Big E finally got his due. You take the title off of Big E, all right, cool. That means I really don't have a reason to watch this.
Mhm.
Like, Big E is the only reason for me to watch this show, is to show that support.
Yeah. Right now, the only reason I saw my Peacock subscription is because of the fact that I watch some of the old wrestling shows on there. That's it.
My family watches it. That's the reason why I still have it. So my family watches it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I have it though, is because I watch the old wrestling shows. You know,
Yeah.
the old WCW pay-per-views and stuff like that. The old WWE pay-per-views, like Rock and Wrestling, stuff like that, you know, Attitude Era. Anything after Attitude Era, I don't watch.
Doesn't make sense. It's not worth it.
But
I
continuing,
I literally only have it because I have a hope for Liv Morgan at some point, somewhere, some way, winning some kind of title.
I will admit though, besides the wrestling, like there always actually are some other benefits because Halloween, the new Halloween movie was on there, even though
Mhm.
it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be or expected it to
Mhm.
be. I didn't have to go like crazy. Like, okay, am I going to movie theater or should I wait? You know what?
Listen,
I'm watching
one
at
thing
home. It costs me my subscription. And it'll cost me much. Bam.
Hey,
that's what
time
I'm
out,
saying.
time out,
Low key, Peacock got
time
some low key bangers on their joint. Low key.
Mhm.
time out. Did you have to pay extra for Halloween?
No.
Nope.
Okay, good.
Nope. Watched it the day it came out. I was happy as a mug.
Me too. I was like, damn, it's worth it now.
I was like, oh, it's worth it? Oh shit, they dropping movies on here? Oh yeah, nah. It's like, okay, I could keep this around. I ain't even gotta. They got a couple of shows on there. I'm looking, I'm like, ooh, this show look nice.
Yeah, because it's one thing when you go to movie theater and you drop like $20 to watch a movie, and you're like, yo, this shit sucks. But it's like when you're paying like the regular subscription, it's like, all right, I'm not paying that much money, so
Yeah, I ain't mad about a $5 ticket.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, it was all right. I was like, I wish it was better than that, but
It wasn't as good as the first one, but it wasn't terrible.
no. There's to me, like I tell people, like there's movies like Eternals. Some people don't like it, some people do. Some think it's okay.
It's gonna be controversial.
I haven't seen it yet, but from when I heard people
I
like,
have.
okay, it sounds more like Eternals and the new Halloween. We'll go on the I'll beep here real quick. They're more like they're necessary movies to get the storyline moving. You get what I'm saying?
Eternals less so, because there's a lot more that they could have done with that they didn't do. But because of the director that they got, she's very much known for a certain type of movie that has
Yeah.
a certain tone to it that is not very comic booky and does not lend itself to comic book movies. That being said, it's a very character driven movie and you invest in the characters. But in terms of storyline and in terms of what they could have done for the larger MCU, it fell short. And I'll admit that it fell short. The biggest thing about the Eternals for me were the post-credit scenes and the last scene. The end of the movie is worth the whole fucking thing. I tell you this shit right now because there's a plot twist in there that pissed me the fuck off, that doesn't make any sense and doesn't make any sense based on any of the reports right now. But I'm gonna let you see it and then you're gonna know what I'm talking about. And in the end of the movie, because now everybody's like, okay, based on the end of this movie, this is how mutants can happen. And I'm like, y'all motherfuckers really don't make no sense, but we rocking with it because that's what we got to work with. And then the post-credit scenes, because the post-credit scenes, just watch the post, watch both of them.
Oh, both of them.
Both of them up. Both of them.
Yeah, because I saw
specifically the second one.
Because I saw Shang-Chi. I'm a Shang-Chi. Yeah.
Thank you.
That was good. That was a hella good movie.
Yeah, it was a hell of a movie and 2 bomb-ass post-credit scenes. that we
Yeah.
still are talking about trying to figure out right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't remember the first Eternals post-credit scene, but I remember the Dane Whitman one. That's the one I remember. I don't remember the other one though. I'm gonna have to probably, when it drops on Disney Plus, I'm gonna have to go back and watch what the fuck the second one was because I forgot just that fast.
Yeah. So let's
Matter of fact, let us know in the comments if you even start to comment on this because I don't remember.
Let's continue on. So now we're gonna
There's
have to.
Or
Oh yeah.
I thought it was the end of the card.
No, we still got the 2 Survivor Series matches, and the one we're talking about right now is Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair.
I don't give a shit because you know why? This match is actually going to be ass. Literally, Becky Lynch admitted as much. It's going to be ass. Why?
There's rumor of a Montreal screw job on this one. I'm like, there's no screw job. There's no title change in hands, so there's no screw job on this one.
Yeah.
Like
there's no way sense. You can do the unless they're the only way I could see it happening is if they come out that day and say, you know what, for the women's match specifically, we're going to do a unification match and it's going to be title versus title. That's the only way you pull off a Montreal screw job type situation, and I would actually laugh my ass off.
Oh yeah,
I would laugh my head off.
There's an interview
that screws up the whole Liv Morgan storyline. Because now that means, okay, do we have Liv Morgan versus the winner versus Toni Storm in a triple threat match for both the titles? Or do we split up the titles that way? Like, the thing is, they're actually starting to, what do you know, build around the actual talented women in the women's division again after royally blowing their load on Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair and botching the shit out of those. They're trying to do it again, but with 2 other women that more their type, basically banging hot blondes that are below 5'6". So we'll see if they can pull this one off. I doubt it highly because they literally don't have anyone to wrestle. There's no one there. There's no one around. But I mean, at least on the SmackDown side, at least you have Sasha, at least you have Shotzi. So like you at least have another feud like right after. On the Raw side, I have no fucking clue. No idea. It'll get to be amongst the women that was in that number 1 contenders match, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, at least they're doing something. That's the one positive I think I'm probably going to say today. That at least they're doing something. It's not good. Well, I'm not going to say it's not good because it's not bad. But I think it's only bad in my eyes because I know that they're going to fuck it up. So I'm already expecting it to be bad.
Jay, who you got?
For what? Oh, for the women's match?
Yeah.
Oh, Becky, for sure. Becky.
There's an interview she did. I can't remember if it was Ariel Helwani or somebody. I want to say it's Ariel Helwani. They asked her about what happened in the back. And
that's the interview I'm talking about.
She mentioned, she was like, I warned everybody. I gave them a heads up this was going to happen because of the fact, I forgot what it was. She said something about her, but nobody listened. And then when they got in the ring, she's like, I knew it. She already knew, so she kind of had to play it off. And she couldn't give her exactly what she wanted to when they got to the back because of the fact that she had to wrestle a dark match right after that promo was done. So they had to get ready for the dark match she was going to have right after that. So it just, and this is why I laugh because I'm like, bro, Andrade talks all like, oh my, this is that. I'm like, bro, it's not jealousy, man. Like I know that's your woman, you got to stand by her, but come on, man. Like everybody's saying the same thing. It's always coming out the same thing. It's not them. It's her. It really is her.
You know what's wild though, and this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. Charlotte's now doing interviews talking about, oh, I love the women in the women's division. I love Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's the future. Bianca Belair is the future. Juice is up. All the people that she done buried. Juice, I'm talking about hyping.
Here's the funny thing. They asked like, oh, I forgot what it was. They asked like, oh, are you still in good communication with the four horsemen of wrestling? She's like, yeah. I talked to all of them. Becky, she's like, we don't
Mm-mm.
talk. We used to be really close, but I forgot after what timetable she put. It hasn't been the same. She's changed. She's different. She's hard to
Probably
talk
when she went
to.
on that hiatus to get her titty fixed. Oh wait, I was supposed to say that. My bad.
Yeah. So
Her breast augmentation altered to be corrected.
yeah. So
My bad.
I'm like sitting here and I'm just like, yo, did they really like that? Is anybody buying what Charlotte is saying? Because like, how do you have women praising Nia Jax standing up to Charlotte?
Which is crazy because Nia Jax literally was a human. She was Botchamania.
She had her own heat as it is too.
She was Botchamania. Like she was Botchamania.
Yeah.
She made Botchamania. Notice I haven't seen any new Botchamanias or nothing like that ever since Nia Jax got released. Love Nia. Love me some Nia. I know I love me some Nia. Some Nina. I don't know what she going by now. Lena. Whatever. I love me some Nia. But them Botchamania things made my month. I loved them, and Nia was all up and through them.
She goes
Botchamania don't come out no more.
Yeah. Benny, who you got winning this one?
Becky. Honestly, nothing really needs to go into it. From what I understand, Charlotte has fallen out of favor with a whole lot of people, including Vince McMahon.
Wonder why.
I mean, like I said, I have my feelings on this whole situation. I think that there's obviously something going on with Charlotte, because with her, like she had the queenly attitude before, but it was just in character. And from what I'm hearing now, it's starting to like really, really slip into her personality, like outside of kayfabe. And that's not cool in any facet. She even went on the whole thing. Like I said, I don't know how much of this, all of this stuff that's going on in here between Twitter and her and Becky or whatever is actually works versus, the actual reality. But she went on the whole thing where she was just like, oh, well, if I was a man and I wanted to be champion all the time, I would have had big balls and everybody would have been saying X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like, no, John Cena, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Like, just, come on. But, like I said, that's not a here nor there. But like I said, I'm sticking with Becky Lynch on this one. I think like she is the face of the company. I think you can't have your SmackDown champions, regardless of who they are. You can't have your SmackDown champions clean sweep your Raw ones. There has to be a split. I mean, logically.
When was the last time there was a split, Benny? When was the
last time? There's been split. Generally like your Raw champion on the women's side takes that match.
Yeah. Well, I got Becky also. I think Flair, even though she's a champion, I think she's got a lot of heat on her, and it's only a matter of time. And I think she might not have the title by the end of the year. And if she does, then she'll lose it at Rumble or at that pay-per-view event on January 1st. One of the two.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna have that title for too long. I wouldn't be surprised if they even take it off on her on TV just to kind of mess with her. Be like, no, we're not even gonna put that on your loss on pay-per-view. You're gonna lose on TV in front of everybody. Bump that.
I hope at least she gets to lose to somebody she respects.
I mean, to be fair,
the title to Bianca.
She respects somebody. Who does she respect?
Remember, she wanted to drop the title to Bianca. But they wouldn't let her drop the title.
She could say that all she wants, though. But do you really believe that? I don't believe that.
In that case, I actually do.
I actually do believe it, honestly.
I don't
like. There are certain perspectives where like I don't think she respects the established brides, but the new kids on the block, I really don't think she got an issue with them. especially when it comes to Rhea, because her and Rhea show mad love to each other. Like, it's crazy. You would think Rhea would be madder than a month after all the shit she done been through with Charlotte. In terms of like where she was when she came out of NXT to now, essentially is because of Charlotte and because of the losses that she's had for Charlotte. Even though she got that win at WrestleMania, it was already dead. It was already a done deal, and she's never really recovered from it. But there's mad love there. Bianca, same thing, mad love. So I'm like, something's got to give.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to like the other lesser named women, like the rest of outside of them two, the rest of the locker room, don't mess with Charlotte like that. And that's probably what you're hearing. And that's probably why a bunch of them keep getting released, honestly.
I don't know. Because
who you got behind you, Benny, is basically, you add in Liv Morgan and Toni Storm, that's the women's division, bro. You ain't got nobody else. Oh, and Zelina Vega.
All right.
Everybody is basically a coach or, a locker room mom.
Yeah. We're down to the last two matches. Survivor Series.
Matches that still nobody don't give a fuck about.
The Women's Survivor Series. On the one side, we got Zelina Vega, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Carmella, and Benny's favorite and very own Liv Morgan, going up against a team of Shotzi Blackheart or Shotzi. I don't even know anymore because they keep switching names. Shayna Baszler. It's just Natalia, Sasha Banks, and Miss Thickums, Toni Storm.
Now, mind you, I'm all for Princess Thickums. I love me some Princess Thickums. Always gonna have a fan of me. But there's too much discord on that team. There's too much heat between Shotzi and Sasha. And Shotzi's supposed to be a heel, and you just throwing in Natalia for kicks. And Shayna Baszler's just going to choke out everybody anyway. That team's not going to work together. You got two of the five women were the winners on that Survivor Series NXT women's match. You got your number one contender in Liv Morgan, your queen of the ring, and your first ever women's Money in the Bank winner in Carmella. It's very lopsided to me. And it's obvious that it's going to be wrong. It is painstakingly obvious. The SmackDown women's team is not that they're weak. There's so much discord on that side. And you got a bunch of people that are feuding together and that hate each other, that they're probably going to end up just taking each other out, if I'm being honest.
Benny, what are your thoughts?
Team Raw, and that's outside of the Liv Morgan bias. Honestly, Jay pretty much covered everything. The only way, and I mean the only way, that Team Raw loses this is if you have outside interference, like you have this building feud between Bianca and Piper. The only way that they lose is if Piper interferes and takes Bianca out. That's literally it.
Right.
Like Becky's not getting involved in this match, so there's nothing there.
No, it doesn't interest her. She's got her own things to deal with.
The only implosion that I can see is on the SmackDown side, because you got two people that are feuding, in Shotzi and Sasha.
Right.
Unless you're gonna debut Xia Li.
Yeah, but who's she gonna feud with though on here this one?
I could see it, Zelina. It definitely could be. That's the thing. They're kind of billing her as a face, though.
Why? never
They
mind.
have. I don't. They did this whole promo with like her saying the like something about her being a protector, like her father for her family or something like that, like this bodyguard type.
I don't know.
So
Maybe
it
is
seems
she
like they're giving her a face kind of turn.
is she on
coming
Raw,
in.
SmackDown again? I forgot.
No, she's
I,
on SmackDown, but
I
I
don't
I
remember.
don't understand it.
If she's on
if
SmackDown, then honestly, I could see her like interfering to try and help Team SmackDown and screwing it up.
yeah,
Mhm.
no. See, I could if she was on Raw, I could see it because then she could be Liv Morgan's bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
But her being on SmackDown, I don't see how they're gonna do this, especially if you look at that SmackDown team, they're pretty much all heels.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I also agree. I'm going with Raw because of the fact that I think Natalia is gonna be the first one eliminated.
Nope. I'm telling you, it's gonna be Tony. I'm calling it now. It's gonna be Tony.
You think Tony? I think
because
it's
they always
Natalia.
do this. Like they know that she's a fan favorite. They know, especially that guys like her.
Mhm.
And then she's gone with it. Like they'll give her a couple of spots, and then she's the first one to get rolled up or the first one to get hit with a big finisher.
I'm just hoping that they don't pull that one shot bullshit that they've been doing recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like they pull with Walter, like they pull with Samoa Joe. Like get out of here with that nonsense.
I feel like that's what they're gonna do.
That's crazy. Okay. So we're all in agreement it's gonna be pretty much Raw running this one.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. So now let's take a look at the men. The men, the Raw team is led by Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, and Bobby Lashley, going up against Drew McIntyre, King Woods, Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, and Baron Corbin. I think it's gonna be Raw taking this one too.
It's almost so lopsided that it's too obvious. That's my problem. It's so lopsided that it's so obvious. And that it feels like there's a swerve in this. Like this one feels like there's a swerve in there somewhere.
The Austin Theory be on that team. I don't even know. How did he get on that?
Adam Pearce.
Oh,
and then he
that's
took out
right.
Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, did the same bullshit like to dominate the Mysterio.
See,
Okay.
the problem is that the feuds are across the aisle because it's like the only person that actually has any real validity on the SmackDown side is
Drew
McIntyre, and he's got the beef with Bobby Lashley, but then you have Kevin Owens who has beef with Seth Rollins still. You have Kevin Owens who's always like he's on this whole thing where it's like I'm not going to betray my friends, but then attack Big E. So there's that whole factor. There's Finn Balor that hates Seth Rollins, but then on the SmackDown side, it's just a bunch of clowns. That's the problem. It's a bunch of fucking clowns. Where like you could use
Drew
this
McIntyre.
to get happy. Yeah, minus Drew McIntyre. Like you could use this very much to get happy Corbin over, but do they want to push Happy Corbin? Probably not. So that kicks him out. You could have Drew do the whole Rhea Ripley thing from a couple of years ago and just kind of sweep the board himself after being the last person left and have him really be the sole survivor. I could see that. Who else is on the SmackDown team? King Woods.
Jeff Hardy.
I could see him getting some offense. I could see him getting some offense, but I could also see Sheamus kicking his face off because he's jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you already know that they're gonna pull some shit like this. So it's like I'm gonna go with Raw, but it wouldn't surprise me if SmackDown won this one either.
Mm-hmm.
Because Raw has way too many rivalries.
Benny.
I told y'all I had 2 more SmackDown picks, right?
Yeah.
A couple of picks ago. I'm going with Team SmackDown. I think that you're going to have interference from the Mysterios who were removed from the Raw team. And I think they're going to interfere and screw over Team Raw just to get back to Adam Pearce.
Well, yeah, but then also they're supposed to be setting up the whole Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio thing.
That they've been trying to set that up for like 2 years.
Yeah.
No, but it's supposed to be like going forward with it. That's the thing. That's supposed to be like they're both of those guys' next feud. So like I could see them doing it where like Ray comes out and then Dominic comes out and then Dominic turns on Ray type thing.
But see, here's the thing. They could have done it in one of those matches where, like, say, Dominic versus Bobby, and then Dominic gets destroyed, and then Dominic blames his dad because of the fact he could have been Survivor Series. It was a match he was looking forward to being in Survivor Series, five person match, and his dad cost him his ability to be on there because he said, "Yeah, you'll fight him, you got him, you can take him," and he cost him that match. So like there starts the issue that's the fight. Now it's like, how are they going to fight right now? Where is the issue?
It doesn't make sense. But that's what I'm saying. That's why it also doesn't make sense for both of them to come out.
Well, you got to look at it. Bobby and Austin Theory are there. So the only reason I see them coming out is if it's to get Bobby eliminated, not Austin, because he'll probably be eliminated by then, but it's to get Bobby eliminated.
I think it'll probably be for Austin because I think the whole idea of having Bobby in the match is for Bobby to get eliminated by Drew McIntyre and have Drew McIntyre finally get that vindication of beating Bobby after not being able to go after the title after the whole Bobby feud. That's how I see that one playing out.
I hear you. I like it, and I know where you're going with it, but that's giving
it's
WWE.
I get it. No,
too much
understand.
credit.
WWE, so yeah. No, I get it.
That's the only reason why I don't see it happening. If it happens, it's great. You know what I mean?
I get it.
But
no,
it's just,
no, you're right. I really I gave them too much credit. You're right.
Yeah. So the issue. This is tough because the issue I have here is you have the SmackDown team where who do you take serious after Drew McIntyre? Sheamus. But he's not.
I mean, Woods been putting on some bangers. Let's not disrespect Mr. King Woods now.
Nah, I don't want to, but how much of a threat is he after Drew McIntyre?
At this point, he probably
did Bobby Lashley.
He did, but I mean,
I was saying he gave Bobby to work in that steel cage match. Now,
the only one I think he can eliminate here are Finn Balor and Austin Theory.
I think it's Austin Theory because they're not gonna have him go over Finn Balor. It's not
right. So that's what I'm saying.
He just beat him in the King of the Ring. Like they're not doing that shit twice.
Yeah, and the problem I have with the Raw team, besides Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory, the other three, they have a feud with each other. That's one way or another. It's like that weird.
Yeah, so I can see them definitely implode. You know what's crazy? I can see Austin Theory being Soul Survivor.
I can see
because they want to push this kid to the moon.
Here's the thing. I can see him eliminating Jeff Hardy, taking a selfie, but then him taking that selfie is going to cost him, and he's going to get eliminated by Woods, like you said.
No, he's going to take that selfie, and then he's going to take a bro kick.
I don't know if it'll be a bro kick. I don't know. I think that's giving Sheamus too much credit.
But we're like all three of us are like on the same trajectory of like saying
he gonna get hit with somebody's signature.
Somebody's signature after he takes a selfie after eliminating. To me, he's gonna eliminate Jeff Hardy.
Probably I guarantee you, watch it be. It's gonna be on the thing that Paul hates the most. It's gonna be on the cheap roll up. Watch. It's gonna be on the cheap roll up. Watch.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Watching AEW and then watching the Darby Allin match with MJF, and they were rolling. I was like, please don't do a roll up finish. I was like, please, no. Come on, Tony. Don't do this to me. But nah, they did it actually better. They're like rolling around the entire ring. Like it was hilarious. It was funny. It was a cheap laugh, but that shit had me dying. They're rolling, getting these rollovers. Nobody wins from it, but it's like it's just a cheap laugh. Like they literally were mocking WWE. Without telling them we're mocking them. I was laughing. It was so funny. I was like, oh my gosh. But all right. So that's my thing. Is like, is Raw team gonna implode from within with those three? Does SmackDown have enough firepower to beat Raw?
Then you also have to look at the fact that Baron Corbin was the former King of the Ring. Woods is now the King of the Ring. Even though he's Happy Corbin, he's still a heel.
Yeah.
So that has the potential to be explosive. You have Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, who never really had an end to their feud. They just kind of fought, was like, all right, see you when I see you. Like, that was kind of how that situation ended, but it never really ended. So both teams realistically have the potential to completely implode.
I'm sticking to my guns. Sticking with
bruh.
the bloodline storyline. And I'm saying Raw's gonna win.
I think Benny's the only guy that has a different pick on this one.
Yeah, I am.
He is.
Like I said, I think the Survivor Series matches are going to split, or the traditional matches. It's just I got the Raw Women, SmackDown Men, and reason being is because I swear I am so worried about that Seth Rollins shit.
I get it. Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, everybody, it's been great. Survivor Series preview. We're gonna have fun watching some of these matches, trying to sit through another group of them. So let's see what happens here.
Thank God
for between that and Sunday Night Football. We'll see.
Yeah.
Who plays Sunday night?
I don't know, and I don't care.
I was gonna check, but I was like, eh. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. Benny, Jay, any last words before we head out?
Nope.
Right. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, that's it, bro.
Wait, hold on.
Damn,
I just got an email. Hold up, let me check something real quick. God damn it! I just got released due to a bunch
I
of
was
cuts.
just about to say, I know they just released you, bro.
I'm sorry, Joe sent that email, not me. I wanted to tell you in person, but he said, let me email you.
Joe's low key out here being John Laurinaitis.
He wanted to put it on Twitter, but I'm like, no. You have a good one, everybody. Later.